Eights, welcome to your Wednesday math. So today's math is going to be somewhat related to the pattern rules that we've been doing for the last week, but we're going into kind of a little bit of a different direction by talking about fact families. So my little intro for fact families is, what do 9, 6, and 54 have in common with one another? They are all related. So they're related to each other because if I did 9 times 6, it equals, 9 times 6 equals 54. If I do 6 times 9, that equals 54. Because if I have 9 groups of 6 pieces in each group, that's 54 pieces altogether. Or if I have 6 groups with 9 pieces in each group, that is also 54. There's another way that these are all related. If I take 54 and divide it by 9, it equals 6. If I take 54 again and divide it by 6, it equals 9. So the idea of fact families is you're trying to find 3 numbers that are all related to one another. So in this case, what we're going to be doing is you're going to be given 2 numbers, and you have to figure out how these 2 numbers and find the third number that makes them all related to another, and then you would list how they're all related. So do these 2 smaller numbers multiply by each other equal this bigger number? Like, so example, 9 times 6 equals 54, or 6 times 9 equals 54, or we have 54 divided by 9 equals 6, and 54 divided by 6 equals 9. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give us 2 numbers, and we have to find the third number to find that fact family, because fact families are of 3 numbers. Okay? We're going to find the third number, and then we're going to list on how they're all related to one another, similar to what is over here. So I'm going to give us 3 numbers. I'm just going to erase this. Or 2 numbers I'm going to give us, and we have to find the third. So I'm going to give us the numbers 7 and 7 and 63. There we go. So the 2 numbers I gave us are 7 and 63. We need to find a third number here. How can we find our third number? Well, there's 2 ways. Either I could multiply these 2 numbers here, 7 times 63, but that's going to give us a really big number. There's another option we have is we can try dividing 63 by the smaller number, so 63 divided by 7. So if I do 63 divided by 7, that gives me a whole number, which is 9. So that could work. So if I have 63 divided by 7, that equals 9. What are some other relationships? I could use 63. Let's try dividing it by 9, because we got 9 in the last answer. So 63 divided by 9 equals 7. So you are allowed to use a calculator for this. So we have 2 division problems. In the example I gave you early on, we had 2 multiplication problems. So let's try multiplying these 2 smaller numbers and see if that is going to give us the bigger number, 63. Let's do 9 times 7 equals 9 times 7. If I punch it into a calculator, it gives me 63. Now, let's do 7 times 9. So let's try switching up these numbers. That gives me, punch it into a calculator, it gives me 63. So we managed to find our third number, which is 9. So usually if you have a bigger number and one smaller number, try dividing that bigger number by that smaller number. So in this case, we got a bigger number of 63 and a smaller number of 7. Try dividing them, and if it works, if it gives you a whole number, as in there's no decimal or anything, you can use that for your fact family. If you have two smaller numbers, try multiplying those together. And that's kind of your little hint as to how to find these fact families. So what you're going to be getting is, it's going to look like a triangle, and two numbers are going to be put in it. So let's try 6 and 3. We have to find this third number that fits in the triangle, and then afterwards we list the 4 ways that we can express that fact family. So here we have 4 ways: 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 2 multiplications where we just switched up the numbers. So 7 and 9 got switched up for these 2 multiplications. And then we have 2 division problems where I switched up my smaller numbers with each other, but my bigger number stayed the same, or I stayed in the same place. So if I give you the numbers 6 and 3, we need to find the third number. Well, 6 and 3 are both pretty small numbers. So I'm going to try, I can try 2 options. I can either do 6 divided by 3, or I can do 6 times 3. Both will work in this particular case, but let's do 6 times 3. So I have 6 times 3, that will be my first line, is 6 times 3 equals, punch it into a calculator, it gives me 18. So my first one is 18. Now I can do my second multiplication right off the bat, because all I have to do is switch 6 and 3 together. So I can do 3 times 6. That will give me, punch into a calculator, gives me 18. Now I have to do my division problems. Division, I need to use my biggest number, which in this case is 18. And then I can divide it by one of my smaller numbers. So let's choose 6 first of all. 18 divided by 6, that gives me 3. Now I have to use my other smaller number for my last division problem, which gives me 18 divided by 3 gives me 6. So that is how we find our fact family. Now we can put in our last digit here. And that's how you do your fact families. So you're going to have a triangle with 2 numbers given to you already. And then you are putting in the 4 different ways that they're related to each other. And that's how fact families work. So there are 3 numbers that can be multiplied or divided by one another. And you just use those 3 numbers to create 4 different problems. So 2 multiplication and 2 division problems. Right? And that is it for today. So you're going to have a worksheet based off of fact families. And starting Friday, we're going to start doing a little bit of algebra involved with these fact families and how they work. But for now, this is your Wednesday math. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, and I will see you all on Friday. Remember to email me if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm almost always around, and I'll see you guys Friday.